What if I told you that the month you were born wasn't random? That buried in scripture, hidden in the Jewish calendar, encoded in the very fabric of God's timeline, is a message specifically for you? A divine fingerprint stamped on your life the moment you took your first breath. But here's what nobody tells you. Discovering that message changes everything. And for some people, it's not the blessing they expected. If you're listening right now, help me prove something wrong. My mother said I wouldn't even reach 1,000 subscribers, but I believe stories like this deserve to be heard. Help me show her that these tales matter. Please subscribe to Timeless Bible Tales, and let's keep breathing life into stories that were never meant to stay silent. Now, let's continue. Before we dive into what each birth month means, you need to understand something crucial. The Hebrew calendar, the one God Himself established in Exodus 12, doesn't just mark time. It reveals patterns, divine rhythms, prophetic cycles. And when you were born into that rhythm, you inherited something. Not a curse, not luck, something deeper. A calling embedded in the season of your arrival. See, in the Bible, nothing happens by accident. God doesn't roll dice with your birthday. Every biblical figure was born in a specific season for a specific reason. Moses during the season of deliverance, David during the season of harvest, Jesus Himself during the season of tabernacles, God dwelling with man. The question isn't whether your birth month means something. The question is, are you ready to discover what it means? Let's start with January. If you were born in January, you were born during the dead of winter, the darkest, coldest season, when everything looks dead. But here's what Scripture reveals. January births carry the calling of new beginnings in impossible circumstances. Think about it. The first month of the year. Fresh start. Clean slate. In the Bible, God specializes in bringing life from death. Hope from despair. Abraham and Sarah, too old to have children. Dead womb. Impossible situation. But God said, I will make you fruitful. If you're a January birth, your calling is to believe in resurrections. To stand in the middle of winter, when everyone else sees death, and declare, something is about to be born. Your struggle? Impatience. Wanting to see the harvest before spring even comes. Your gift? The ability to see potential when everyone else sees endings. February births. You were born during the shortest month. The month the world celebrates love. But biblical love isn't romance. It's sacrifice. John 15 verse 13. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. If you were born in February, you carry the calling of sacrificial love. Think of Esther. If I perish, I perish. Think of Ruth. Where you go, I will go. February births are called to love when it costs something. Not surface-level affection. Deep, costly, lay down your life love. Your struggle? People-pleasing. Confusing sacrifice with self-destruction. Your gift? The capacity to love people into their destiny, even when it breaks your heart. March births. You arrived at the turning point. Winter dying, spring breaking through. The ground thawing. Ice cracking. Resistance giving way. In the Hebrew calendar, March aligns with Adar, the month of Purim, when Esther's people went from mourning to victory in one day. If you were born in March, you carry the calling of sudden breakthrough. You're a warrior, a breakthrough specialist. Think of Joshua at Jericho, marching in circles for 7 days, then sudden collapse. Think of David facing Goliath. One stone, one moment, everything changes. March births don't do slow progress. You're built for quantum leaps. Your struggle? Impatience. Wanting breakthrough now when God is teaching you to march. Your gift? The faith to believe that what looks impossible today could collapse tomorrow. April births. You were born during spring. Resurrection season. Passover. Easter. Everything coming back to life after winter's death. If you were born in April, you carry the calling of resurrection power. Not just for yourself, for others. Think of Lazarus. Dead 4 days. Jesus shows up late, on purpose, and calls him out. Think of Jesus Himself. Crucified Friday. Resurrected Sunday. April births are called to speak life into dead situations. To prophesy to dry bones. To call forth what doesn't yet exist. Your struggle? Dealing with delay. Wondering why God shows up late. Your gift? The ability to see past the death to the resurrection that's coming. May births. You arrive during peak spring. Everything blooming. Rapid growth. Abundance emerging. In the agricultural calendar, May is planting season. Seeds going into soil. If you were born in May, you carry the calling of exponential growth. You're a multiplier, a grower, a cultivator. Think of the parable of the sower. One seed becomes 30, 60, 100 times what was planted. Think of the woman with the alabaster jar, one act of worship that's been multiplying for 2,000 years. May births don't settle for addition. You're called to multiplication. Your struggle? Comparing your growth to others' timelines. Your gift? The patience to nurture what's been planted, knowing the harvest is coming. June births. You were born during early summer. First fruits appearing. Harvest beginning. In the Hebrew calendar, June aligns with Shavuot, Pentecost, the Festival of Weeks, the Harvest Festival. If you were born in June, you carry the calling of reaping. You're a finisher, a gatherer, a harvester. Think of Ruth gleaning in Boaz's field, gathering what others left behind. Think of the disciples at Pentecost. 3,000 souls harvested in one day. June births are called to bring things to completion, to gather what's been scattered, to finish what others started. Your struggle? Burnout. Trying to harvest fields you weren't called to plant. Your gift? The ability to recognize when it's time to reap and the stamina to gather the harvest. July births. You arrive during the hottest month. Peak summer. Scorching heat. Intense sun. In Scripture, fire represents God's presence, purification, and passion. If you were born in July, you carry the calling of holy fire. You're not meant to be lukewarm. You're built for intensity. Think of Elijah calling down fire from heaven. Think of Pentecost, tongues of fire resting on each believer. July births are called to burn with purpose, to purify, to ignite, to refuse to dim your light for anyone's comfort. Your struggle? Burning out instead of burning bright. Intensity without wisdom. Your gift? The passion that inspires others to stop playing it safe. August births. You were born during late summer, the height of growth, peak maturity. In the Roman calendar, August was named after Augustus Caesar, the height of authority. But your authority doesn't come from position. It comes from character. If you were born in August, you carry the calling of kingdom authority. Think of Joseph in Egypt, slave to second in command in one day, because he had proven character. Think of Daniel in Babylon. 3 kings recognized his authority because God was with him. August births are called to lead, not through power, but through integrity. Your struggle? Pride. Confusing influence with importance. Your gift? The ability to carry authority without abusing it. September births. You were born during the turning season. Summer ending, fall beginning. Leaves changing, temperature shifting, everything in flux. In the Hebrew calendar, September aligns with the fall feasts, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot. New Year, Day of Atonement, dwelling with God. If you were born in September, you carry the calling of transition. You're a bridge, a translator, a guide through change. Think of Joshua leading Israel from wilderness to promised land. Think of Paul transitioning the gospel from Jews to Gentiles. September births are called to help others navigate the in-between. Your struggle? Never feeling settled, always between seasons. Your gift? The ability to thrive and transition when everyone else is freaking out. October births. You were born during fall. Leaves falling, seeds dropping, everything surrendering to gravity. Jesus said it in John 12 verse 24, "Unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces much fruit." If you were born in October, you carry the calling of the falling seed. You're called to let things die, to release, to surrender, to fall into the dark soil and trust God with the resurrection. Think of Abraham laying Isaac on the altar. Think of Jesus in Gethsemane. Not my will, but yours. October births are called to the hardest calling, willing death for greater life. Your struggle? Holding on when God says let go. Your gift? The ability to surrender what everyone else clings to and watch it multiply. November births. You were born during late fall. Trees bare, ground preparing for winter, everything entering rest. But rest isn't inactivity. It's preparation. In nature, November is when roots go deep, when trees store energy for spring. If you were born in November, you carry the calling of preparation. You're a behind-the-scenes builder, a foundation layer, an unseen preparer. Think of John the Baptist. Prepare the way of the Lord. Think of Noah, building an ark for 120 years before the first raindrop. November births are called to prepare the way for what's coming. Your struggle? Feeling invisible, wondering if your preparation matters. Your gift? The ability to build in secret what God will reveal in public. December births. You were born during the darkest season. Shortest days, longest nights. But you were also born during the season when the world celebrates the coming of light. Christmas, Hanukkah, the festival of lights. If you were born in December, you carry the calling of light in darkness. You're not called to avoid the darkness. You're called to shine in it. Think of Jesus born in a dark stable, light entering the world's darkest moment. Think of the Maccabees, one day's oil burning for 8 during Israel's darkest hour. December births are called to be lights when everything around you is dark. Your struggle? Absorbing the darkness instead of illuminating it. Your gift? The ability to bring hope when everyone else has lost it. Now here's what you need to understand. Everything I just told you, it's true. The patterns are real. The callings are biblical. The connections are there. But here's the twist that changes everything. Your birth month doesn't determine your destiny. It reveals your potential. There's a massive difference. See, the enemy loves to take God's truth and twist it just slightly. He'll take these birth month patterns and whisper, "This is who you are. You can't change it. You're limited by it." But that's a lie. Your birth month isn't a prison. It's a CLUE. Think about it. Moses was born during deliverance season, but he spent 40 years running from that calling. David was born during harvest season, but he spent years hiding in caves. Peter was probably a summer birth, fiery, passionate, intense, but he denied Jesus 3 times. Your birth month reveals a potential calling, but you still have to choose to walk in it. Here's what God is actually saying through your birthday. I knew you before you were born. I set you into a specific time, a specific season, a specific moment in my calendar for a reason. But I'm not going to force you into that calling. I'm going to invite you, and it's going to require you to die to yourself, to surrender your plans, to trust me in the dark seasons, to let go of what you're clinging to. Your birth month is my invitation, but you have to RSVP. So here's what you do with this information. First, look at your birth month. Ask God, what were you saying when you placed me in this season? Second, look at your life. Where have you seen these patterns playing out? Where have you been resisting them? Third, surrender. Stop fighting the calling God placed on your life. Stop trying to be someone born in a different month. If you're an October birth, stop trying to build empires. Learn to let things die. If you're a June birth, stop planting everything. Learn to finish what's already growing. If you're a December birth, stop running from the darkness. God put you there to shine. But here's the most important thing. Your birth month meaning is just the beginning. Because every person who walks with God eventually learns this. God isn't confined to calendars. He's the God who makes the sun stand still, who turns water into wine, who resurrects dead things on the 3rd day, not the scheduled day. Your birth month is his starting point, not his limit. He's going to take that seed of calling and grow it into something you never imagined. So the question isn't, what does my birth month mean? The real question is, what is God calling me to do with what he's revealed? Are you going to use this as an excuse? Well, I'm a November birth, so I'm just a behind-the-scenes person. I don't need to step up. Or are you going to use it as an invitation? I'm a November birth, which means God has been training me to prepare the way. So what am I preparing for? Here's something that will blow your mind. Jesus, God in flesh, chose to be born in September/October during the Feast of Tabernacles, the feast that celebrates God dwelling with man. He could have been born any month, any season, any time, but he chose the season of transition, of dwelling, of God moving into the neighborhood. Why? Because he was the ultimate transition, the bridge between old covenant and new, between law and grace, between death and life. Even Jesus's birth month was prophetic. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just learn what your birth month means and move on. Ask God, why did you place me in this month? What are you trying to say? What am I meant to do with this calling? And then do the hardest thing. Surrender to it. Stop fighting it. Stop comparing it to other people's callings. Stop wishing you were born in a different season. God knew what he was doing when he placed you exactly when he did. Your birth month isn't random. It's a divine appointment. The question is, are you going to show up? The month you were born was God's first prophecy over your life. But it's up to you to fulfill it.